All right, now for the final run of the evening. Don't ask what we were talking about. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Up next is StingerPA with Escape a Goat 2 and Vooligen at his side. So enjoy.
Alright, looks like we are live. Woo! Yeah. I am StingerPA. Joining me today is the lovely Vooligen.
Not the regular one. The lovely one showed up today.
Yes. It's a rarity for him, but we did manage to get the lovely version today.
So what are we playing today?
We are playing Escape Goat 2. It's a wonderful puzzle platformer that manages to turn into a precision platformer when you start speedrunning it. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. So I'm going to go on 3, 2, 1, go. And you want to talk about the first level real quick?
Yeah, so in the very first level, we're going to do our first trick. It's called a boost jump, and you're going to see Stinger jump up a 5-tile jump, which you're not normally supposed to be able to do. You're supposed to be able to get a max of 4, but with a very frame-specific input there, he's able to jump up perfectly, grab the key, and open the door. And that's going to be the basic mechanic here, that you have to collect all the keys in a given level, and then you can get to the door and pass through. So you're going to see here, as an example in this level, you can get up to this key. That is not the intended way of getting to it, so Stinger already showing off some alternative strats, and we'll be making use of a lot of those during this run, including this upcoming level here.
Yeah, these levels come pretty fast, so please try and keep up. We're not going to be able to do detailed commentary for every level. This one we'll try to, because there's a little trick I can do here with bonking the block while I'm getting squished, and it lets me just slide on through.
Yeah, this level also normally is the tutorial for acquiring Henry. We've got a little companion who's a mouse or rat, one of the two, not really sure which, but we'll make use of him in this level to activate some switches and some other stuff. You can throw him and then recall him at will, and so it's pretty nice to make use of him to hold down switches or do other things in various levels, which we'll see coming up in just a little bit. And we also did another boost jump here. This one's actually fairly challenging, but yeah, it'll be impossible for us to describe like every room strat, but what we can talk about is the general game design, and that is that here we're collecting our first sheep soul out of a total of 7 that we need to finish the game.
And these are also the rare breathing points that we get in the run, because I can
you actually
sit
get
down
to
on the
put
pedestal
down the
or
controller
location.
or keyboard. Alright, so this is the spine of the Stronghold, and here is where you'll access the individual worlds. There's going to be 7 in total that we'll visit. Normally we would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, but instead we're going to do 7 because you guys donated for that. And so here in this level you're introduced to Reapers. They are going to shoot fireballs anytime you have either yourself or the rat in their line of sight. So we're doing some platforming here and some stuff to hit some switches and open the path to the door. No keys in this level, but a lot of platforming and crazy stuff. And here in this level, 2-2, you might see Stinger use Henry potentially to shield himself. He didn't need to, but that will show up in a later level, so we'll talk about it a little bit then. Otherwise, it's just dash to the key, get up, dash back. Gotta be as precise as possible with your dashes to go as fast as you can here. Basically, jumping is analog, so the amount of time that you hold down the jump button determines how high you'll go. Here's Stinger. This level is kind of an auto-scroller-ish type of thing. You just need to get these things being burnt, and then they explode, and then you have to pick up your key here and then make it through. But otherwise, most of that stuff is just kind of on a fixed amount of time that it takes.
Couple little mistakes, but made it on through without dying.
Yeah, so the second world there, the Woods of Duplicity, which we just completed, and we're gonna get the second Sheep Soul Orb now. But this is actually one of the harder areas in the entire run. It's a pretty short run overall. It comes out to about 15 minutes game time, depending on how good you are, of course, or like 20 minutes real time. But there is a lot of gameplay in that amount of time, so it is very, very difficult to get a fast time in this game. Although it is not that difficult to just like play it and have fun, so do that.
Yeah, this is a fantastic casual game. So if anyone ever is looking for a fun game to pick up and play, highly recommend.
Alright, so we're into the third area here, the Excavation. And in here, we're going to be introduced to ice physics a little bit. There's going to be two types of ice blocks. One type is stationary, and you just kind of slip while running over. And the other kind you see there, Stinger is able to bonk using the goat's dash attack, which acts both as a way to go fast and also as an attack for those blocks to either break wooden crates like you've seen him do before, or push these blocks around. Here we're going to do some block pushing and a little bit of a skip there. We drop Henry on that left switch, and that caused it to get held down just enough where normally you'd be using an ice block. Also, a nice little frame perfect bonk of that ice block as it was falling there. There's a different frame you can get that's adjacent to that one that causes it to also continue moving after it falls, but again, it's frame perfect, so it's pretty difficult. Nice little downwards boost by getting pushed by that block there on the way down.
Mm-hmm. I was able to do a little trick with throwing Henry off the ice block to get him to go up a little bit higher than intended.
Alright, so here we're seeing the magic hat for the first time. So there's a couple of power-ups you can get for Henry. The magic hat goes on him and allows you to swap places with him by pressing a particular bind. And when you swap places with him, you create like a line of destruction between you and him that can destroy saws, like in that level. It can also break crates and things like that. But we're going to see a fair bit of that over the next little bit. But we've also got our third Sheep Soul Orb already. Stinger, how many hours would you say you've put into this game?
I'd say in the neighborhood of around 850-ish. My Steam hours say around 780, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot unrecorded from when I was tasking the game.
Ah, yes, there is a task in this game. I don't know if it's available yet, but it's like eternally under work. Eventually, we'll actually have like a completed 100% task, and it'll be pretty awesome to watch. But for right now, we're heading into the library, area number 4, and right away in the first level, you are going to see Henry shielding, which is the thing I referred to a little bit ago, where Sting is going to throw the rat in front of him, have it absorb those fireballs so that he doesn't die, and that makes this level way faster. So he's going to complete it in 7 seconds, which is a very nice, quick time there. And 4-2 going to be pretty quick as well, but this one involves some precise jumping up in those little gaps there. Those little circular things there, the little electrodes, are harder to dodge than you might think. But we have another level coming up, 4-3, which is very difficult. Stinger's going to be trying to squeeze between these blocks in this wall after they get activated on a conveyor belt that this is looking dicey.
Alright, take two.
Yeah, it's better to honestly get a retry in that situation anyway, because the Reaper at the top of the level also matters here. So Stinger's going to take it a little bit safely, but unfortunately still gets hit by the Reaper's fireball. This strat is extremely hard, and there's even harder variants of it, but even this version is really difficult. There goes Stinger through the level in 7 seconds. Oh, and don't blink for this one either.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the library. This is probably the overall, I would say, most difficult area, mostly because it's just a lot of challenging strats, rapid fire succession, back to back to back to back in a short span of time.
Yeah, 4-2 and 4-3 are both very difficult levels to do fast, and so this area kills a lot of runs.
Yeah, really, every area kills a lot of runs. Alright, so a quick boost jump here to get up to the next area of the spine, and now we're going to head to area number 5, the Parish of the Necromancer. And in 5-3 and 4, we're going to see a new mechanic. which we'll talk about in just a sec. But first, enjoy 5-1. This level features a lot of magic hat usage to break these crates and break a bunch of saws, and it's just really a joy to watch. This is also a very difficult level to be optimal at. And Stinger actually recently set the individual level world record for this one at some sort of ludicrous time. I forget.
13.58.
That one. So for reference, his time just there was 14 and change. But in any case, as he does this level, which is a little more straightforward, I'll talk about the Necromancer. So there's going to be this totem in the next level and the following level, and if you send Henry to it, it is going to allow you to throw 4 copies of Henry. And so in this level, you're expected to drop 1 on each of these switches, and then you can advance to the exit. And in the second level, I'm very happy, dude. You actually did it right.
Oh, and then I did that one wrong. Oh no.
Oh no. So it's combining the Necromancer statue with the magic hat, and so now you're going to throw out 4 copies of Henry, and it will teleport to them in order so that you can collect these keys and reach the exit. And as for the pattern that you throw Henry, well, the Henrys in that level, that is something that Yagamoth came up with. He is responsible for a great number of the very complex strats in this game. So he's, you know, if you know Yaga, you know what a weird, creative guy he is, and he's come up with a lot of interesting stuff. Well, that's 5 sheep souls down. I believe we're going to a new area now.
Yes, we are, and one that's not normally seen in any percent runs, because the area I'm going to is a little bit slower than the one we normally do. We normally go to Crystal Halls, so I would go to the exit on the left here. But nah, I'm just gonna go on up.
Yes, this area is a grand total of 11 seconds slower, which of course doesn't really sound like much, but this game is optimized to ridiculous levels, so you do want those 11 seconds. But the neat thing you're going to see here is a new mechanic called the Magic Hammer. There we go, yeah.
That's a tiny hammer.
Tiny hammer, that one. MC Hammer, whatever.
But
yeah, oh, this level.
The tiny hammer allows Henry to turn into a little block,
which we will be making use of very, very soon. Right there to activate that switch. And now you need to make sure Henry doesn't get clipped by those saws. You keep transforming him and
yeah. And actually, this is not quite what the donation incentive was. This is something a little extra.
Oh baby, yeah, we're getting a secret key here. There are some of these in the game, and they open the way to what's called stained glass rooms, where of course you get the best music in the game, but also some incredibly different difficult challenge levels. So this one features the Cape of Vengeance, which we didn't see because we didn't do Area 6. But you need to now hit these switches. Notice on the right side there's a block falling. You need to hit these switches before it falls and get over to the right side to activate the access to another secret key.
Yeah, this is actually the only stained glass room that has a hidden key in it to access another hidden room.
Yeah, this one is pretty challenging as well. As you see there, Stinger getting incinerated by the Reaper. These jump timings are very, very precise and not particularly easy to do. And he's trying to make use of Henry as well to sometimes either draw a Reaper shot in the wrong direction so that it won't kill him, or draw one that won't hit him there. But there you go. There's a stained glass fragment for Stinger, and he'll be able to... are you planning to go back and do the other one as well?
Nah, don't have quite enough time for that.
Good enough of a show. But in the meantime, now we'll go back and do 7-2 the intended, well, our intended way. So those blocks on the right, the stack stops sliding if you place Henry as a tiny hammer block to the right of them, and that allows us to get access to the real key and finish up the level. And as with all the other areas, the 7 area has 4 rooms and then the sheep rooms. So here you see the hammer being used to break this block here, and now we're actually going to use it in mid-air to jump off of, and that was even high enough to, I think, be a boost jump. So very nice execution by Stinger in that room.
Yeah, I believe that one was a boost jump. And here I'm coming up to a strat with pushing the Reaper off the edge. I crushed him.
He deserved it.
Probably. But this is a very difficult strat because you have to first push the Reaper to the edge and then do another block to actually pull him completely off the edge.
Yeah, and this is obviously not the intended strategy. You're normally intended to get the Reaper to walk off this platform using a hammer block to cause him to walk to the left, but instead we're going to do this. This will end up overall being faster. This is also very, very difficult, and the only reason that this particular area is only 11 seconds slower than Halls of Crystal is this particular strat. Alright, but there it is. God, that strat is ridiculous. Oh god, are you kidding me? Oh my Stinger, I hate you.
I mean, that was the only way I was gonna make it.
Oh boy. Alright, well there it is. That was a thing which occurred, but now we've got 6 out of 7 sheep soul orbs, and one minor note is that Stinger knows where the sheep, once you activate the sheep soul orb, Stinger knows where it's going to go because there's a little like hat on the ground, kind of pedestal type of thing where you where it will always fly, so he's able to just go there and wait for it, and there's always plenty of time to do that. But now we're heading to the Grave of Anguish, which is honestly one of the easiest areas in the speedrun. Are you?
Okay.
Yeah, you are. Aww.
I had to get it.
You went back to the bottom. I love you. Oh, baby. Yeah, so the Grave of Anguish, although the name sounds very intimidating, is really not that bad. It does feature new types of blocks that are bone-related. There's these slow-breaking blocks right at the beginning there, and then the fast ones right here that once you activate, the entire thing breaks. But otherwise, this is a pretty straightforward area, and it just kind of tests some of your, platforming skills. And then in 8-3, when we get there in just a moment, you really don't want to blink, because that is the fastest level in the run.
Technically, it's second fastest in 100%. But there we go. Just dash right through 2 blocks to the exit.
Very nicely done. That 1 second strat is pretty difficult. So here Stinger is, trying to drop Henry. You could actually just go for the Ratapult strat as backup. But,
yeah, but I don't have enough practice on that.
Fair enough. The intent is to have Henry on that right platform, as he did the second time through, and once you do that. And actually now you should keep an eye on the sheep room. This is actually the only sheep room that is really, like, challenging and dangerous. You can actually die doing the fastest strat here, without being like an idiot and just falling into a pit or something. But that went pretty okay for Stinger, so he will collect sheep orb number 7, and then we're heading to the final area, the Lair of Toragos.
Yeah, Toragos is an enemy. It's basically well, never mind. I was about to say it was the only enemy in the game, but Reapers do exist. But
I always do that too.
Yeah. But it is a long bone snake thing that will follow your path, or at least attempt to. It'll just take whatever turn it can when it encounters a wall that will point it towards you.
Yep, and just one more boost jump here, which isn't the intended way to get to this door, but that's alright. So yeah, Stinger's going to be trying to manipulate Toragos. It's kind of like an auto-scroller, but if you do, that is to say, if you position yourself to force him to turn the ways that you want him to turn, then you'll be able to get faster times in these levels. So here in this level, which is, I would say, seems the most like an auto-scroller until the 9-4, he's going to make sure to make Toragos turn right. Now he's going to be able to get this key a little bit faster than he otherwise would, and then he placed Henry in this door on the left so that he would hold it open so that he could get through. But now in 9-2, it's the hardest trick of the run, the ice block jump. Stinger's going to cause an ice block to drop on the right side of the screen. He's going to try to jump on it in mid-air, mid-fall, and jump up to the top. Didn't quite get it, so there's a backup strat now. If he had gotten it, he could have collected the remaining keys and just finished the level, but this trick is so precise. We actually found it, like, very hard to task. Ooh, an unfortunate death for Stinger, just landing in the wrong place, but now we get a second chance at this trick. So again, it's precise timing of dropping Henry, and oh no!
Accidentally triggered the Reaper there to melt the ice block.
Yeah, one way or another, you need that ice block. So here we go again. Try number 3. Still not getting it, but fortunately not burning the ice block this time. Again, I'm just going to repeat that this trick is stupidly hard, and it was actually so hard that we had trouble tassing it, let alone doing it in real runs. But there you go, just lure Taragos instead at that specific spot to cause him to go and get the keys for you, and then he hits a dead end and dies, and spits up the keys, and now you can continue on to the next level. 9-3 and 9-4 are both fairly straightforward. This one has a fun little jump inside Taragos' little path there, which is a little more dangerous than it looks probably when Stinger does it, but otherwise this level is pretty
supposedly. I did lose a PB to it about a week ago.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I blocked that out of my mind, let alone you.
Oh, that's not going to be blocked out of my mind anytime soon. Alright, I'm going to go for this one time.
Yes, dude. Alright, so this is a really stupid trick, Stinger. So there's 3 keys in this level. If Taragos eats all of them, then you just lure him to the right, and then you'll hold all the switches down, and that'll open the way to the end, and then you can finish. If you take one of them, he'll block all the switches but one, and then you can press it yourself. But if you take 2 of them, he's gonna hit all the switches except 2, and you have to use Henry to hit one of them while you hit the other one. Aw, didn't quite get it. And unfortunately, the cost for missing the trick is you have to redo the 30-second long level. So this trick is so stupid that I've done this in runs because I'm an idiot, and Stinger, who's the world record holder, was like, no, I'm not doing this crap. But yeah, now we're doing the much more leisurely one pickup version.
And remind me, how much does that save?
It saves 14 farm fresh, organic, artisanal frames.
That is a stupid trick, and nobody should ever do it in PB attempts.
Alright, 9-5 is a little bit too complicated for me to try to explain just in the course of this. So let's just say that Stinger has a very precise set of things that he needs to do here. And he needs to collect these keys at the top at very precise times to make sure that he doesn't get killed. Now, fortunately, he does have the ability to kind of retry this top one, but unfortunately not.
I have the ability to retry the entire level, too.
That's true, you can do that. We believe in your ability to do this. But yeah, this is the last level. This is a very, this represents a large difficulty spike relative to every other level in the game, both in the speedrun and casually. Like, there's easier strats you can do, even speedrun-wise, for every single level, but this one is just brutal. But there you go, we got the last key, we're through the door, and just one more jump, and then Stinger will call time.
And time.
GG.
That was an interesting run.
What a video game.
I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to the final time. 1822 with 16 deaths. That's... yeah, okay.
Very solid. Very solid time. Devil Squirrel would not be disappointed with this time.
I mean, I did do Temple of Adoration and a couple of stained glass rooms, so I'm okay with having shown that off.
At the end of the night, you still have the world record.
I mean, I think this is the world record for any percent one glass shard, so at least I do have that.
That's probably true. And if it's not, we can say it is, because who's going to argue?
But yeah, that was Scapegoat 2.
GG, dude.
GG.
I think you have to like sign us out
and
then let High Spots
yeah.
know when there's. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.